is we're going to put it on YouTube and send you a private link. So you've got this.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's
It
going
will
to be
help me a lot.
a private link, having you and I having a chat, going through whatever we need to go through.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so I'll just press OK up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to be able to really focus in and master the techniques that I'm wanting to use to start my own business that I am excited about. You know, when I did the course, there's things there that it's okay. It's like, yeah, I've learned that. I've learned anchoring. I learned swish. Did I practice it? Did I look at it again? No, it maybe later on it might excite me, but for what the things that I want, it's not exciting me. And unless I'm excited about something, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
So the things that really grabbed me were parts integration.
Yeah.
Like because it was done on me, I think my trainer did that with me, but we were in our practice. It was done. I'm pretty sure she did. And I really got something out of it. I just got this helped me so much. And it's quite fun too. And I think it's an easy technique, and there's most people that you meet have that mindset of one part of me thinks that and one part of me thinks that. And I think it's fun, but I also believed in it because it just helped me with that, mindset that I was in. And then when
conflict, do you remember the conflict that you worked on?
I was just thinking about the other day, I was thinking, what was it? Oh, it was, do I buy a house? That was where I started. It was just that one. Do I buy a house and have less money? Or do I just, at my age that I'm at, do I continue, and with Craig, moving forward, do I just rent and have lots of money? I'm really stuck in that, not lots of money, but enough money to, do I get myself with a bit of a mortgage and then the land rates and everything else that go, the insurances and all that kind of thing. But it just, does that really give me, in my head, it's just like security. Is that false sense of security, or is that really security? Like, it's really been sort of playing on my mind for a while, because we're at that point this year, perhaps sometime this year, that we might make that decision. And there's a lot of other aspects, but that's the main thing. Do I rent forever? Does it matter? One part of me wants to do that, and one part of me wants to buy a house. So that's where that one come from.
Where did it go?
It went to, it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
It went to, I'm still getting exactly what I want. At the end of the day, I've still got a roof over my head. All the things that I painted a picture of my own home is what I already have right now, to a certain degree, you know what I mean? So, we are going to go and see a financial advisor. So there's other aspects in it now that come to hand, so.
I hear you. I resonate so much with that.
Yeah.
I really do, because, we're in the same boat. We're in exactly the same boat.
Yes. So later on in life, when there's settlements and things, Craig he had to give his house, he's given his house over to his ex, and there's, and a quite big chunk of super, but he still has, a super and a substantial amount. But I've got, some money there would be enough for a really, really good deposit. But then I kind of think that money and the interest I earn on that money has been able for me to move forward and do things like this.
Yes.
Would that home take that away from me? We are really enjoying our life right now, and we can pack up. Even though you could with a home, and we could just say, you know what, in 2 years' time, Fraser's already in Brisbane, or Queensland, not quite there.
Get a motorhome and just.
We have thought about that too.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
with this business that I do, you know,
Mhm.
I could do that. There's options out there, but it's finding, and there'll be a lot more of the parts integration
Yeah.
I'd like to sort of have on me. But I also
Absolutely.
did it as a, because I've got a, I'm doing a couple of, I did some practice with my cousins and I did practice with my beautician who
Mhm.
she's booked in to see me again. And I thought, I'm just going to do this. I was a bit nervous, but I did the parts integration, and the reaction I got from her was so good. Like when she finished, she goes, oh my God, I can feel it in my chest, you know. And after I finished and she walked away, I felt like so good. And I saw in her face, I could see the look on her face as we were going through it, where she was going with it. And I
Wow.
saw the relief after it. And when she went away, she goes, I can't wait to come and see you again. So that kind of, I thought that was so easy
Yeah.
to do, and I loved doing it. And she would have felt it because I put my everything, and I could see the change.
Yeah.
So that interests me, the
Yeah.
parts integration.
Parts was powerful. Parts was what I did my exam on when I did trainers.
Oh, okay, yes,
So
yes,
yeah, I love.
very powerful tool. And I think having clients would be, and that's things I want to ask you of, um, and I've done a little bit of reading and it's all coming to me now. Anyway, I'm answering my own questions along the way, but how to get that point. So for me at the moment, it's just like, you know, asking that question. And I haven't really had that first consultation with her. A little bit of a background I've got written down, but as I'm reading, I read some of the, which I was told this is in masters, but I got the certificate for it. Oh, the certified practitioner of deep state repatterning.
Yes,
And
I don't. Yeah, see, that's something different because I don't have that. See, this is my. Oh, I don't know whether you can see because I've got a filter on.
oh yeah,
But
no.
like this is my NLP training.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, this one was a bit, because I've got three separate components
okay.
of timeline therapy. It's finding, yeah, I'll talk to you about that of so that's another thing that really interests me, because I had that I did a, you know, the root cause one for me,
Yep.
and I was really amazed at where that took me. So
Yes.
that kind of blew me away of where we had time like at lunch break to think of a time, a specific time of when an event, you know, and I sat there for, you know, half an hour trying to think, and I thought, yep, I've got it. I've got it. You know, and when we come back and we went back and my trainer took over, I think, because she was aware throughout our training of things that I may have said from the beginning of, you know, my adoption, and didn't really specifically say what I'd been through, but they got the gist that, you know,
There's some stuff.
my education is the school of hard knocks kind of thing. So she got the gist. So she took over, and I ended up going back to a place that I thought just didn't bother me, you know, which was my adoption and my mother giving me away. And I
Yeah.
really have always believed that, you know, thank God she gave me away. It could have been a lot worse with her. I wasn't angry with her. I actually met her later in life, but she's had a lot of issues. And I was just grateful that she had me and didn't have an abortion, and felt like I was more got into the grateful, which I am still, but I didn't realize through the timeline therapy the pain that I carried of her. How could you give this baby away at 4 months, this baby that's smiling? And each time I had a child at 4 months, I'd just squeeze them and look at them, and I'd get quite emotional at 4 months. And so it did affect me, and I had no clue. So that really blew me away, that technique. And
And the thing is, your unconscious mind is so powerful because at the end of the day, like when you're in that and trusting your unconscious mind to take you where you need to go, sometimes you don't go where you think you're going to go, and
yes,
you go where you need to go because that is the real first event.
yes,
And sometimes that first event is not as dramatic or as traumatic as you think it's going to be.
Exactly. I had other events after that were far more traumatic.
Which
But
you would have released along the timeline as you came forward.
I did. I tried to remember what you said, what I'd done. And there was a couple, but not a lot. I think because if it were me and I was your client, it would be more than the 3 month package. There's
Yeah,
there's a lot of events that I've been through
yeah,
in my life that and I now, since doing my course, can
yeah,
see why I reacted in ways I reacted, why I drank alcohol to numb the pain.
yeah,
I can now see so much more clearer, um, and look back and be very empathetic to that young girl, young teenager and woman, mother. I can look with empathy and think, wow, you did well just to really survive. And that's kind of more, it's been really, and you can probably see in me, I'm a much calmer person than I've ever been in my
you
life.
know what, Jen? You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I
Like,
feel amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it does
You,
come from within.
yeah, but you look so different.
Yeah, I do, don't
Like,
I see it.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like you
Well,
look,
I've looked after myself, but I've been able to do that and work on that, like exercise and
oh,
healthier,
oh,
slow changes in my life, not doing the quick fixes.
no,
And of course,
it's
you know,
crucial, especially, as you're like, 50s and well, we should be always looking after ourselves, right?
yes,
But
yes,
even more so now,
yes.
it's like, oh my goodness. Like
Mm,
I have more motivation now, but also, you've got to be an example. Like if you're in this industry and you're in the industry of wanting to help people, we actually have to be our own best advertisement.
yes. And I've got that. I've
Yeah,
got that now. And I am, and
yeah,
it's not an act. It's me
yeah,
continuing to be me. And even I notice in my conversations, when I'm out or around people and the way I see people, it's really in your face of, someone that might be saying, oh, this is what I saw and that's what happened. No, it's not. And then I've sort of intercepted and said, well, that's perhaps, so and so's perception of that. And that's okay. And that's good. And that's perhaps your perception. I'm not doing it all the time, but sometimes you have to say it because your feelers, like you said, are out.
yeah,
And I kind of do go into the rescue thing, but I kind of understand where they're coming from. So each conversation I now have with someone is by the time they finish the conversation with me, I know that they're feeling more relaxed and I don't think they even know where it come from.
yeah.
And it's a good feeling to be able to do that. Not
And
not not doing psychology because I'm aware of that as
no,
well, but
no,
just
but
reacting
but
differently.
also, being able to notice someone's sensory acuity,
Yes.
being able to build rapport as well,
Yes.
understanding the communication model, understanding that everybody has a different model of the world. And,
Yes.
if we all had the same model of the world would be a very boring place. And,
Exactly.
and I mean, like when I've got two people looking at the same thing with a different perspective,
Mm.
I just throw it in as if like, okay, well, what if you and I were sitting in the movie theater and we're watching the exact same movie? Your perception of that movie is going to be completely different to mine in
And
some.
that's okay. Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
This is where, in regard to the meta model, like the delete, distort, and generalize,
Yeah.
like that's where that all flows in really easily.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. And they're things when we're talking about what I want to kind of, I guess, with the meta model, and there's so many things that I learned, it's
yeah,
kind of like, okay, I got this part of it. Now I need it to go deeper. And
Yeah.
I most likely, when I do the 7-day refresher, I will get more of that in. So
Yeah.
that's why I want to use my time with you, because there's so much more. I read over it and I think, oh, I really want to get that kind of thing. And if we get into that time, or we've still got, you know, I might say, I'm ready for you to help me with this section now.
Yeah.
But I kind of, what I want to get out of us is mastering the techniques that, like I said to
That
you,
are interest that are more of an interest to
to
you.
me, and
And
something that I want to start my business doing, and also help with starting my business, because
yeah,
I have no clue. I mean, Zoom, everything, like all this stuff, even my laptop, because I didn't really use a laptop for, oh, I don't know, since I moved to, Tweed Heads, and I was out of the reality world. All I had was my phone. That was it. And so it's all new to me, but I kind of want a simple business plan, something that, like I even noticed, with your payment system, that what you were using then, and I'm thinking, do I need that straight away? Is that a good thing, or do I just, I noticed
get
my,
people to do direct deposits to start with.
well, I just noticed my trainer did this, and when I had to pay for the next course, it was just a bank account, and my solicitor was just a bank account. And I thought, well, maybe I can just start up a new account, like a brand new account, and have that as my, because I want to call it my life count. So it's something to do that it might be go towards a holiday. So it's for me, that part that's my living, because I'm really, really, really blessed to still be here. So everything for this, to me, because I've worked so hard at it, I'm starting off as, this is my living account.
I love that.
Yeah, it's investing in myself.
Investing, yeah.
It's
I
my
love,
investment for
yeah,
life.
yeah,
So other stuff can come or go,
yep. And
whatever.
the thing is, if you're not investing and you're not growing, if you're not growing, you're dying.
That's right. And that's why you can kind of, I guess, by you saying that, you can see my desire to live is even, I think, more heightened, because most of my life I've been dying. So now I feel I'm living, and I got a taste of living, and I'm addicted to living.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
just surviving before.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and that's something that a lot of my clients, that's what they say to me.
Yeah.
They're literally, they're just surviving, they're just getting by, then they're not living.
Yes.
And it's our job to help them to see what living is all about.
Yes. And that's what, yeah, right. And just you saying that, like, I get tingles, and that's what I want to do. And I guess the start that I've already had is like working for the Cancer Council, and already doing that and getting feedback of, thank you so much. And I know how to, I because I lived it, when
Yeah.
they speak to me, they say, oh, it's so different speaking to you, because you make it, I reframe it differently. And that's not just through NLP, that's just through my experience. This was before I did NLP, when they say, I spoke to, another person, you weren't available, and they said, I've got to give up drinking, and I need to do that, and I need to be doing this. And I just said, well, that's all very well for them to say, because I went through that. And I said, you have to do what's right for you now. I said, look, and that's why I went into places and sort of said, that's not what, I'm not saying what I did is why I'm surviving. I'm saying what I did to survive, and I am still surviving. So at the time, I said I was drinking red wine, every night, too much red wine. And people are saying, you shouldn't be doing that. I said, but that got me through a very hard time for me. And I said, I'm still alive. I said, it doesn't mean I'm saying for you, drink red wine. It's just saying that I did it and I survived. So
Yes.
and I said, I felt, for me, I'm a great believer in, um, dis-ease causes disease. That's
Oh,
my belief. but everybody has a different belief. And I said, so I wasn't going to let my trauma, I just needed to relax. And that was just, Facebook and red wine become my best friends. And although it wasn't healthy for me, either of them, I've now given, well, I'm kind of sort of back on Facebook, but not in the same sense that I was.
Yeah.
And I feel better. But at that time, that was what I needed to get through. And that's just life.
Did they talk about, like, in relation to like, at NLP, at your
Yeah.
training, did
Yeah.
they talk about cancer and where,
It's
or
It's a little bit like my trainer was a bit more. There was a section, and it might be in the deep state repatterning. I don't know if it's in the other one. Might be in your the same module as you have, the same that there's a section there that says that not letting go of your past, or the root cause, or not letting go can cause cancer. And she said she doesn't use that one. She does it because some people and all of us, there was two of us in there that actually, one was still going through a cancer situation. There was myself, and there was another girl who had a different illness. Can't remember what it was. And one was still very super anxious, and I don't even know how she kind of made it, but she was super anxious and whatnot. So whether she said you've just got to be careful with people that are going through cancer. So it's like saying to me, I'm in the midst of cancer, I've been diagnosed, and they say, if you don't let go of all this, this is going to cause cancer. You can't do that. And I wouldn't do that. But I could feel comfortable saying to somebody that's not been diagnosed with cancer, because I've been through it myself, I would feel comfortable in saying, my belief is what I said to you, is that, and I don't say that cancer caused melanoma, the sun damage caused melanoma, but when it spread, it was 17 years later, it was dormant, and I was going through a really extremely traumatic time in my life.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, in relation to this, because I've had, like, in my course, we talk about it. We actually talk about it because of parts integration.
Okay.
Was in a conflict and this is from my trainer, who had the same your trainer had the same trainer.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Adriana and Tad, they actually talk about inner conflict.
Okay.
What can cause cancer, because it's like you've got inside you've got this tug of war happening. And that's where the unsettling happens. And when I've had clients that have had cancer, I have been able to ask them, when you were going through that, or before you had the diagnosis, I said, did you have conflict in your life? Every single person said, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And we talked about, okay, well, where was it? And, and then we've been able to, like, I guess, do a double whammy with the parts integration to make sure, because they've been through it. Okay, do you have any conflicts now? Okay, yeah, okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, what else?
And is that all with parts integration?
It's all with parts integration.
Okay.
Yeah, because what we're doing is, when we've got parts, we are separated from self. So what we're doing is we're coming back home. We're coming back to wholeness.
Yes.
So with every conflict, we're not settled. So if there are multiple things that you're conflicted on, we're going to clean that shit up.
Yes. So I like that, because and one thing, like, when we talk about, is it a metaphor that you kind of, what is it when you talk about a situation where you're reframing? What is that? I forget what it's called when you talk about, it's a story that they can go,
yeah, if you're telling a story, you know, it can be a true story, it can be a metaphor, it can be a metaphor about yourself, but you use a third person as well.
Yes, yes.
So yeah,
A
it's
metaphor for that, when you're talking about the cancer, for me is I went to the Gawler Foundation through early days of my cancer. Like I'd had a few brain tumors. I think I'd had 2 brain surgeries, and after that on for my third.
yeah,
But when I was there, it was really quite funny. There was a big group of us, you know, maybe 50 people, and they talked about different types of personalities, like type, you know, they talked about type A and C and whatever. And what I remember that day, they said, um, how many people in this room like are people pleasers, you know? And so we all put up our hand, all 50 or whatever they say, or to say, let's say it's 50, all 50 of us put up, we're all people pleasers. And he spoke about, you know, the guy down the road, people, how many times do you hear the people say, you know, it might be the pedophile down the road or the murderer down the road? How come, you know, how many times do you hear people say, why didn't they, you know, get cancer, and this lovely person, lovely lady or lovely young girl or whatever ends up with cancer? And they said what their belief was it's the exactly what we're talking about: people pleasing, internal
internal
stress,
struggle, stress,
struggles,
conflict.
stress, and yeah, conflicts. I need to remember those words.
Yeah,
And that's something that I would use because I experienced it. And we all put up our hands and went, whoa. And that's when I said to that day, I've got to learn to stop. Yes, I like to help people, but
yeah,
there's a difference between helping people and people pleasing just to get acceptance. And it gives you anxiety. And everyone
and
will
like
relate to that.
we can talk about this too. And now there's something else I want to share with you, because you may not even be aware that you're saying it. So
Yeah.
when you talk about the cancer, you say my cancer. So
Yeah.
that makes it tangible. So,
Yes.
you know,
Okay.
when people say
Yes.
my depression, my anxiety, my
Yeah.
cancer, it's like,
You're
and so
owning it.
you're
Yeah.
owning it. So in my training room, basically what I do is I say, when we take ownership of something, it's
Yes.
like I hold out my hand like this.
Yeah.
See that's my anxiety, that's my depression. I've got a really tight grip on it.
Yeah.
If you say the anxiety, the depression, the cancer, you're
Yeah.
dissociated from it.
Yeah. Dissociated. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So from now on, when you're talking about it,
Yeah.
you to take out my and
Yeah.
use the.
Yeah. The
Mm.
cancer that I was going through.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Not the cancer that I had or my cancer, exactly what you just said.
The cancer that I was going through.
The cancer I was going through,
Yeah.
because you are not going through that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. There was.
yeah. And I mean, the thing is, like, this is where I love, I just freaking love NLP so
Yeah.
much, because when I'm having conversations with people, I can gently just say, all right, I'm taking my friend hat off and I'm putting my coaching hat on. I
Yeah.
just need you to be aware of this,
What you're saying.
what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay, coach hat off, friend hat back on.
Yeah. 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 I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
even with our children, when you know this stuff, we
Yeah.
can get so caught up in wanting to help them that we forget that we're mum, and they all they want is mum. They don't want mum
Yeah.
to, they just want mum.
Yeah. My kids kind of run for me. I think, you know, like, oh, are you NLPing me kind of
Yeah.
thing? And,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
you know,
Nicholas NLP's me.
yeah. What
Like
do you say?
Nicholas NLP's me.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, does he? Yeah.
he will turn around and he'll go, and mum. And for what purpose?
Yeah. Once you're around it, I find that Craig's kind of even starting to, he was describing NLP. Someone said, "So what's NLP?" And he described it. I can't remember exactly what he said. And I said, "That's a really good analogy." I said, "I like that one," because he listens, but yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that's,
we've
yeah,
got
definitely getting into
charts,
that.
information, timeline therapy.
Yeah,
The other thing too, like in regard to meta model and like the delete, the distort, the generalize, the cause and effect, the complex equivalences, the necessity versus possibility. I wouldn't get too caught up in knowing all of
okay,
that.
yeah. I get a bit, I understand it and some of it more. But
Yes.
then sometimes when they get it gets a little bit too overwhelming for me.
Yes. So what you will notice is that as you get more experienced, and we can go through we'll go through these as well,
Yeah.
you will be able to recognize some more than others. Because
I do recognize effect, people that are being
oh,
at effect all the time.
absolutely. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
cause and effect, you will hear that all the time because people will go, because right there,
Yeah.
because is cause and effect. Okay.
Yeah.
So cause and effect is one that you'll be able to recognize. Necessity and possibility, they are two that you'll also be able to recognize.
So explain those ones to me
Okay,
again.
so when you've got someone who says to me, I need to do this, I must do this, I have to do this,
Yeah.
they are in model operator, so mode of operating,
Yeah.
model operator of necessity.
I won't write it all down because you're taping it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what that means is they're doing things because they feel they need to, they have to, they must.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no choice.
Yeah.
So if you flip it around and you say, instead of I need to, I must, I have to I want to, I choose, I desire, that flips it to the model operator of possibility. So rather than what is necessary,
Yeah.
what is possible.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
That's the simplest way that I explain it, because what you'll find with me is I'm going to just bring everything back to simple terms,
Yeah.
because when I did NLP, my trainer talked so freaking fast.
Yeah.
He went so fast, and there was no time for asking questions, or it was like, oh, one of the assistants can help you, so I'll get back to you. And he never did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I became a trainer, I thought, right, okay, I'm going to teach people from a way where this is so basic that they understand it, and they understand it well.
Yeah. And isn't that a better way of getting more clients? Because most people that want, like myself, there's so many more people you can get on board, because a lot of people like myself that didn't go to university and whatever, kind of think it's
But
out of
when
their
I
reach.
went,
And yeah,
I
that's
got, piked out at year 10,
yeah.
but when I was little, funny thing, I remember setting all my stuffed animals and dolls up with a desk, and I was the teacher.
I did too.
So,
I did too. Yeah.
yeah,
I wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. It's
yeah,
all in the helping and caring role. But yeah, so that's yeah, so the timeline therapy. And I don't know, I remember my trainer saying to me, there's some things that really interested me. She said, oh, that's only in masters. And I'm like, okay. So I'm really interested
what
in
was
helping.
it specifically?
So specifically, what I'd like to do is relationship counselling, even if that meant it's with one person that's struggling with their relationship, for me to even see that person to start with to help them.
So the challenge with that, the challenge with seeing a half of a couple,
okay, yeah,
is that one might be really invested and the other one may not be.
okay, yeah. So you'd need to see two.
So with relationship coaching, it would be really important that you see them both. So what Luke and I do,
Yep.
is we will, I mean, and I've seen both of them separately.
Yep.
And together. So when I do relationship coaching, it's like they do a complete breakthrough, personal breakthrough with me on their shit that they keep bringing to the relationship.
Is
And
that timeline therapy?
it's all of it.
Yep. Okay.
It's all of the above.
Yep.
So it's timeline, it's parts integration, it's anchoring, it's like all those things.
Yep.
But then what I do, like with the couples stuff, we do that over 16 weeks.
Yep.
We do 12 weeks each of breakthrough work, and then they have 4 sessions together.
Okay.
And they're doing their breakthroughs at the same time. So
Yep.
they're at the same place in their breakthrough, so that they can go home and discuss it with
Yep.
each other as well. Like, you know, I mean, I keep what they say about each other, that's private between them and
Yep.
I. But
Yep.
then when we come together, we talk about all
Yep.
things. I
Yeah.
love relationship coaching.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I'd find it excuse me. Like when you're saying, I'm thinking, wow, that's, you know, that's a lot to kind of learn, but I'm really keen to learn it. So is that something that is only in masters, or?
Going to just have a look in my crack book, because I yes, it is in master crack. And the thing is, in regard to master prac,
I've just got to respond to somebody on.
no, you're right. Let me just have a little look here. Relationship coaching. Strategies. It's called the relationship paradigm. Yeah, and see, the thing is too, Jen, I've just taken, I take what I like,
Yep.
and yes, there's I guess you could say, a recipe,
Yep.
but who sticks to the recipe, right?
Yeah, that's right. So could it be possible that whether it's parts of it come from you know, from what I've done now, prac, and parts of it comes from mastery, you put it together, could you train me in that itself?
I could teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's something that I'm really keen on. So when I go to these mastering that, because I want the certificate, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's the specific things that I want to learn the specific things to help me with that, because there's a lot of information. It's like anything. It's like when I did my gym instructor's course. I was pre like I knew every muscle, I knew every bone. I was so, I was so scared because I thought I was 26 or something. I was so thinking I was the oldest person in the class. And I went there, and then people said to me later, you won't even use it because people that come in, they don't want to know about gluteus maximus. They just want to say that's their bum or bottom,
Yeah, yeah.
and so
And,
you don't use all that
yeah,
stuff.
and you know what? The other thing is too, I mean, and I was exactly like you, where I've got to get that certificate. That certificate is so important,
Yeah.
right? In all of this time, I've had one person want to know what my qualifications are.
Oh, really? Yes.
And I
Yeah.
don't even have my certificates on my wall.
Oh, wow.
They're,
Yeah.
they're in a drawer.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess just
and
saying that you've got a mastery,
yeah,
for
yeah.
some
And
people it does sound good, but it's not. But what is it? What is it?
see, I mean, I'm a trainer and master coach.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when you've got your master practitioner,
yeah,
you'll be able to say, yes, I'm a master NLP practitioner. I'm a master blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
Which also gives you more credibility, and you can put your prices up and all
yeah,
those things.
yeah,
Now, the other thing in relationships, and this is not something that you would know yet,
yeah.
is about eliciting values.
Okay, yeah, no,
So
yeah,
that's a master practitioner
yeah,
um, level, and,
yes,
and and with master practice also there is a deep dive into values and societal values, and where we all sit, and the values section. I mean, in my training, values is 2 to 3 days. It's
yeah,
just that.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's an eye opener, because then you get to learn about where a narcissist sits and why
Okay, yeah,
a
yeah,
narcissist is a level 3 and they're attracted to a values level 6,
yes,
because, so that there's,
yeah, yeah,
so, okay, so relationship coaching
yeah,
is something that you want to do. But what I could help you with is, I could give you a basic format,
yeah,
because you can always add to it.
yeah, yeah.
So, okay, so parts integration is of interest to you. Timeline therapy is of interest to you. Okay, what else do you want to like be really proficient at?
I want to help people to, which will, I guess you'll need timeline therapy and everything, but about weight loss. I
Mhm.
think it interests me because I worked in that industry from in my early 20s, being a Gloria Marshall, and then and just in the fitness industry. But me now, what I've done, how I've changed things around to just changing things up, as in like the like to dislike technique. I like that idea, and I'm already for free through my health insurance doing a once a month coaching session with her, and we are just, and it's for my cholesterol, it's for more my health, which has got to do with weight as well. But I'm changing things up, like I'm changing not Vegemite and honey on my toast to just a natural peanut butter, which is low in sodium. And so to be a dietitian, I know that that's just something. I don't want to do a course for 7 years to do something. I want to be able to mentally help people change their mind as I have, and slowly change
You-
things, change things around.
and just sit with it,
Mm.
doing hypnotherapy,
Yes. Yeah.
because hypno and NLP, they're in the same umbrella.
Yes.
They work really, really well together.
Yeah.
And
So I don't need to be classed as a weight loss coach. I just want to be able to.
no, but if you've got, see, here's the thing, right? I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
I've like, because I teach hypno, right? So
Yeah.
do hypno. When we have clients that are calling us about weight loss or even quit smoking, what
Yep.
I like to do is I actually like to get them, in front of me so
Yep.
we can do a discovery session.
Yep.
Really look at for what purpose they
Yep.
want to, release the weight, quit smoking, whatever.
Yep.
And through the series of questions that you already have
Yep.
for the timeline therapy intervention, I use some of those questions in my discovery session.
Yep.
9 times out of 10, my weight loss clients that have come to me for hypnotherapy and my smoking clients end up being breakthrough clients.
Okay.
Because the root cause of
Yep.
weight is like the weight problem is the surface level problem.
Yes. Yes. And
Right?
that's what I'm aware of, and that's why I'm interested.
But there's always
Yeah.
a root cause.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we can use hypnotherapy
Yeah.
to help them, but they would be better supported doing the breakthrough, because what if, they were an overweight child and
Yes.
they have all of the limiting beliefs back from their past that they need to release through timeline therapy?
Yes. That's what my psychologist did years ago when I was at the gym, and I joined up somebody and they said, oh, they work for a psychologist. And I said, oh, does he help with, he does the smoking, giving up smoking, years in my 30s.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to lose weight, which I didn't really need to lose weight, but I felt this was because I wasn't aware of what my past was affecting me. And so he said to me, and he said to me, he had a lady come in to see him once that was overweight, and ended up finding out it was the issue she had with her mother, and she used to binge on eating Milo as a child and became so exactly. And so that's where I am aware, and that is exactly what you're saying is what I want to work on. So I want to really master the timeline or hypno or whatever you do it, so that I want to, because of what I went through, and I'm aware of why I was binge eating when I was like eating on biscuits, sugar. I'm kind of aware of it, and I'm kind of want to get someone in a position where
2 seconds.
oh, yep.
Mommy moves. Out you go. Come on. Thank you.
Yeah, just me for I think the reason, like I'm saying, I want to do that because I understand it, and I understand even now that, hey, I'm sitting on a size 16 and 18, but to me, they're numbers. I don't really care. I'm happy, I'm healthy. If in, 6 months' time I've dropped 2 kilo, well, then that has to be good for my health, doesn't it? And I do feel good, but I'm really against quick fix 8 week, a shake or whatever. Not against it, but against it for me. And I've been on a roller coaster of diets most of my life. So I kind of see the damage that it can do to you. And I'm aware that it comes from me not feeling good about myself. So yeah, that's I guess. So you're right. The like to dislike, and I'm aware because I did it with my cousin. It doesn't help unless you work on the root cause.
Yeah.
Maybe later when you've
I mean,
worked through all that.
it's a great technique. It's a
Yeah,
great technique, but look, what you'll find is that when you start to get clients, they're going to come to you with a surface problem.
yeah,
And it's like, I don't know, when I talk about when we work with a client, their problem is here. And then that problem has all the scaffolding. So this is how I teach it
yeah,
so you've got the scaffolding of the problem. Now the scaffolding is made up of all these little components. And as the practitioner, we've actually got to be able to look at all the different components of the scaffolding of the problem and work out how the client has actually put this together.
okay,
And we've then got to break it down, pull it apart. We've then got to try on the client's problem Like try it on, put it on like a hat, see what it feels like, get into how they're feeling, and then we go from there. Like, how is it possible that they have manifested this, or they've brought this into their life, or how is it possible that they think this way?
Yep.
And so
Yep.
we've got to then, like, through the series of questions and understanding, we are able to get to the root cause of the problem, and then we work there, like we work from there.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I get
So,
that.
yeah,
So
because
do you think for an easy way for me to learn with that, because I have this I've been reading over and going, you know, the timeline therapy, but I kind of thought that I need the questions to be asked prior. Just say I'm coming to you today, and that, what do you call that when you have your first session? When you would,
well, I mean, I do a discovery session.
yes,
And I basically ask them questions like, okay, so in regard to the problem, okay, what is the problem? How long have you had the problem? What have
yep,
you done about it? Like there's like
whole,
you would have the questions. So
yeah,
if you, is your timeline therapy book
yeah,
separate?
yeah. I've got it all here separate that I printed
Okay.
out. So time
Okay. So,
change, eliciting the timeline discovery.
okay. So I'm wondering, if you were to turn to page 28 in that book, I'm wondering what your page 28 looks like.
Okay. 7, 28. Time change techniques.
Okay.
First phobia model. That's what that comes to.
Oh, okay. So the fast phobia model. Okay, so okay, what you're actually looking, do you have an index at the beginning of that book?
I think I've just got
Contents?
it all done out separate. I don't. Oh, I might have. Hang on. Be
If
sure
you've
the
got
goal is guided and
contents,
smart. I did have somewhere. Just let me change technique. So number 1, the change technique. Well, that's just dissociative technique. Okay, so we're looking for.
oh, okay, yours is different. Because that dissociative technique they don't use anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't use it.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm looking for, and it's actually called How to Do a Timeline Therapy Intervention.
I don't think I've got it for some reason. I've not heard of that, but this is
Because that's actually part of the coaching.
time change technique. That's on number
Ah,
21, 28. So let's go to the start of it, number 1.
yeah.
Time.
Oh no, yours is different. Yeah, yours is different.
Because
So
that's where unless it's somewhere that I haven't seen, the problem I'm having with this is how do I just go in and say,
right, no,
how
no,
do I
no.
start the discovery
Okay,
session?
what I'm going to do, I'm going to screenshot a picture,
Yeah.
and I want you to see if you've got this.
Okay.
Because I mean, the thing is, right? If you have done NLP and you are certified
Yeah.
as an NLP practitioner, you should, well,
I should have it. And the thing is,
I would be thinking that you would have it.
yeah, and there's a possibility until I see it that I have, but I can't find it right now. So here it's got
So
discovery, dissociate, time change technique. Oh, that's number 1. Ask the person to remember the last time the reaction occurred. In some cases, time change techniques may need to deal with the root cause. Anchor that state, interrupt the state.
I don't use that
No, I don't
process.
understand that, to be honest. Okay, let me have a look.
But if you have a look
Yep.
on your phone, I've just sent you the questions that I ask.
some of these questions are familiar, but no, this is a lot better. I to do a timeline
Again,
theory information
I'm going to send
before
you,
the session.
because what I'm sending you is what I cover in the training.
Yeah. The timeline therapy.
We go over this in the training room. And because basically what I'm sending you now is a complete.
No, I haven't heard this before, but this makes more sense.
Okay, so okay, completing the session. All right, so that one, and that one. Okay, have a look at
Just sending something
okay.
else. Yep.
Yeah, I've just sent you 3 more.
College.
Then read through.
Okay.
Because if your trainer was trained by Tad,
Yeah.
you should have this, unless they have completely remodeled timeline therapy.
Yeah. Okay. This kind of because they do have questions where we go, what questions kind of thing. Where did I find that? But this, I reckon they've remodeled it, because bits and pieces in it, you know, the questions that we go, what specifically, well, not even that question, but
So that was
this will be interesting. Yeah.
like hierarchy of ideas. Did you do?
Yeah, they did the hierarchy of ideas. And I think there's something, I'm not saying they've totally dismissed it, but this kind of is a little bit more helpful to me with more just questions like this. Because can you do it now? I did see the question somewhere that they have, which has got some of these questions in it.
Okay.
But it's not as many questions of what you have now.
So even if you want to use this,
yep.
I can help, like you can print that out.
Yep. Yes.
And you know what? This is my gift to you. If you don't have it,
yeah.
This is my gift to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll print that out and can practice on that.
Have a really good read, because these are like when at practitioner level.
Yep.
These are the questions that I feel are really important.
Yeah.
To ask your clients.
Yeah.
When you look at master prac, with a master prac intervention, we're looking at, we're asking the client, why are you here? And then we're repeating, why are you here? Why else? Why else? Why else? So we're eliciting all of the reasons.
Yeah.
It's a problem. And then we're looking at, how long have you had the problem, or how do you know you've got the problem? So
I remember those questions ring a bell.
Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe, maybe what they've done is they could have mushed some of the master prac questions in with prac. I'm not sure. Unless I saw the document, I wouldn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't really know.
And because where I'm at it, I've finished the course, and I'm just going through. I haven't really had any much practice at all, so it's all that seems to be a bit more. But I'm trying to go through, like, read over it, especially the timeline. And my question was, how do I sit down and, I mean, just through common sense, I can ask questions, and there's a few questions in there when I was doing parts integration of I don't know, things that I was asking the girl that I did parts integration, and I was asking her, can you remember I don't know, I can't even remember the questions, but I was pretty much finding out about her past and what she I can't remember. I must have got them off there somewhere, the questions that
Because
I asked her, but she,
I don't even ask, like, in regard to parts integration, I don't really ask about their
it
part.
might have been just a conversation when I
Yeah,
first
yeah,
saw
maybe
her.
it was.
Yeah.
Because
And we were just talking about just having a conversation,
about experiences and about life
and she'd said, yeah, she'd got bullied at school, and she just kind of come out with everything as some people do, like a little bits and pieces. I think there was a lot more. And that's the thing with me doing timeline therapy with her. Next time I'm thinking I don't have enough information for her to benefit from it, like to go back into it. Like I need to have more of a bit of a
and see,
discovery.
in the prac room, there isn't a lot of time. Like you don't actually get the information, because I mean, the way I train it in the prac room
Yeah.
is I'll do a demo, and I'll with the client, I will say to them, can you remember a time from your past where, let's just talk about anger, for example.
Yeah.
Can you remember a time in the past where something happened and you got really angry?
Yeah.
And then I just say, now, as you go back to that time now, can you feel that anger? Like, can you still feel the anger? Yes, I can.
Yeah.
All right, now I want you to go straight back up into your timeline, above your timeline, turning around, facing the past. Go straight in like that. At prac level, that's how we teach it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it's just so you know that, like, that yes, there's still anger there. There's
Yeah.
still anger there from their past, because they've thought about an event. The event that they've consciously thought about
Yeah.
isn't the first event. It's just
Okay.
any old event.
So you're okay to just get them back to any old event to get them into the
Any
into the
event,
whole thing. Yeah.
any event that elicits that anger,
Yeah.
right? You know that, wow, okay, there's something there. And then you go straight into the script. Is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this emotion of anger today, and for you to be aware of it consciously? And then, that part there is the contract.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and if you were to know, was it, to that, now we're going back to the root cause of the event. Is it the first event, which when disconnected will cause the problem to disappear? If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? And then we trust the unconscious mind to take us back to that very first event. And that's what we go with. It's not necessarily the event they consciously thought about.
In
It's
the
the
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of using that first event as a little bit of a discovery session. Is that kind of? No?
No, we use that before we do the process.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you could say to them, like, just as even as a little tester, you could say, look, can you think about an event, because we release anger first? Could you think about an event from your past now where you felt angry?
Yeah. And it could be 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And they could go, yeah. And then you could just say, so, okay, so you still, you feel that anger? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Well, there's definitely anger there that needs to be released, because it's still there.
Yeah.
So, as the coach, you could do it that way. But what we'll do is, when we start to get into it, oh, she's back. Hey, Nick, come here for a second. Come and say hello to Jen. It's been a long time.
Hello.
This
Haven't
is
you all grown up?
Yeah. Yeah.
How you going?
Good. How are you?
Thank you.
You were just a tiny little 10-year-old or something when I saw you last.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've grown up into a handsome young man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
He's only 22, Jen.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Back and get ready for.
Yeah. Well, yep. Well, I can still take you. So all is well.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Wow, he's all grown up. It's very handsome.
Yes, yes,
Two handsome boys.
yes, with the beard and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's Fraser?
26.
Oh my gosh.
I
Wow.
know. That was my baby. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, so do you would sort of mostly have your first session, you would call that like a free session, a discovery session? Is that what you would do?
well, what I do now, I do it in a couple of parts.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're comfortable with, because I will do a absolutely free 15 to 20-minute session
Yeah.
where I get the client to just offload, and
Yeah.
I just get them to tell me all the things.
Yeah.
And then what I do, if they really want to work with me, I say to them, then I said, all right, well, look, we've had this session, and this is great because I'm understanding the problem now. However, what needs to happen now is I actually need to go and do a discovery session to dive a little bit deeper. First of all, to make sure that we're a good fit with each other, so that I can really understand the problem, but I've got some really important questions that I want to ask you. Now, that session goes for around 90 minutes, and I charge $250 for that. When I first came out of prac, I was charging $100.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, however, Jen,
Yeah.
I've also done that free chat, and I've gotten to problems very quickly, and the client has decided that they want to work with me. So I haven't had to do that extra session.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it just depends. But I think it's good to do the discovery session. So you could even put yourself out there and go straight for the discovery session.
Okay.
And you could even say, I've got 5 spots and I'm doing it for free. Just
Yeah.
this one time.
Yeah.
I've got 5 spots and I usually charge $100, but I'm doing it for free.
Yeah.
There are all,
I want to get started off without going too,
too
high.
heavy. Yeah. I mean, you could do it for $50. I just feel, but we all need to be compensated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's your time.
Sometimes too cheap people kind of like, because I know doing for free, then people, they just, oh yeah, whatever. But the minute you're being charged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I think mine was 100 or between 100 and 150 when I started,
Yeah.
but I have a non-negotiable 250 now.
Yeah. Well, when I decided in myself, once I do this next, before I even started this with you, once I do my next one, which is in the end of February, that's when I start having paying clients.
Yeah.
And then with you mixed in with that, I'll feel so much more comfortable between yourself and me doing that 7-day one that I've already,
You're already doing, yeah.
I'm already doing, that I'll feel comfortable come March. That's my goal, to start having some paying clients come in.
Yeah. No, I think this is really good. And the thing is, like, I've got a bit more scope now of where we're going to be going. Like, so this chat today was real, like it's been really good.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this.
Yeah.
So parts integration, timeline therapy, obviously down the track, you want to do relationship coaching, you want to get more clear on like to dislike. Is there anything else that you want to get clarity on? Do you want to get clarity on anchoring?
Yeah, I do. As much as I think it's not my favorite thing, because I think I was tired at the time. It might be just I did, the one when they started doing the chain anchoring, I just got lost, and I might have been tired, but yeah.
So as I said to you before, I don't even teach chaining anchors anymore.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Because it can look it can look complicated,
Yeah.
but if you're looking at procrastination is a limiting decision.
Yep.
So, you know, you can do that in timeline therapy
Yep.
to get rid of a limiting decision.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and a classic example of this is an example I use in the training room. True example of a client that I had in back when I first started, and she had this belief that she never finished anything she started. So
Yeah.
she'd start something and never finish it. It'd never be taken through to complete.
And that's me. That's me.
Yeah. So what
I think it's a lot of people.
So if you were my client, I would say to you, and you may remember this from your training, when you've got a limiting decision, do you remember the question that you asked someone?
I'm not a successful businesswoman.
Okay, so if that's your belief,
Yeah.
the question that you always ask is, when did you decide that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something that they might have shown you that at prac. When
Yeah.
did you decide that? When did you decide that? When did you decide that?
No,
And
I just remember you saying that to me
yeah,
one
okay.
time.
Yeah.
When did you decide that? And it kind of throws your head and you think,
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know when I decided that.
yeah, well, you wouldn't know,
No.
but your unconscious mind would know.
Yeah. So
And
that goes into timeline therapy.
yeah, because with my client, she went back to being a 5-year-old kindergarten kid.
Yeah.
And she was painting, and the teacher came and stood behind her and laughed and said, "That doesn't look like a tree."
Yes.
And she put her paints down.
Yeah.
And that then, oh, well, it's not good enough. So what's the point of even finishing it? Because it's
Yeah.
not any good anyway, and it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So that belief was,
That question can go back to so much stuff.
oh, absolutely.
Like I already know, with me, when you're saying I've never felt, I've always felt ugly. And you could just say, well, when did you decide that? And I already know it was, my adoptive brother that just constantly called me like a dog. And I remember him out the front with his mate saying, "Here, Rags," "Here, Rags," and like calling me a dog. Or Scrag was my nickname that I answered to. So as a little girl, I was either a dog or I was a Scrag. And that was most of my childhood. So people that might say, and it's funny then later on in life when you kind of, people might be jealous, and I've sort of said to someone, why? And they said, oh, because you're pretty. And I'm thinking, but I just see a dog.
Yeah.
That's still there. You can see that.
So, okay. So
That's still there.
okay. So I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that.
So I'm going to help you with that.
Yeah.
I will take you through the process to get rid of that, because you don't need that.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
don't.
pretty bad one. Yeah.
You don't need that. So and that could be something that we do on our next session.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good idea that we just clear that shit out first.
Yeah. Yeah. And that helps me. If you're taping it, then I can work on that with other people.
Absolutely, Jen.
Because there's so many people I meet that the thing is they don't feel good enough.
Yeah.
And I like that. I'd say, when did you decide that? And that's where I want to go into the timeline therapy. So if I can get that rolling and I can get those questions rolling,
Absolutely.
I can make a difference just with that itself. And another thing I really want to do, which I was told you can only do it if you do master prac, is I want to be able to help people give up smoking that want to.
Well, you could always come and do hypno with me, and I
Yeah.
can show you how to do it through.
Yes.
I mean, I have, mind you, though, like, okay,
Is hypno a part? What is that is that a separate course? Or is that...
5 days. Yeah, 5 days, but we're doing it in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Coming to Melbourne.
When are you doing it then? What date?
We are coming to Melbourne in March.
What?
The 10th, I think it's the 10th. Um, the 10th to the 14th.
So how many so
It's
what,
five
what's
days.
the hours? They're probably, how
Um,
many days did you say? 5 days?
5 days. 5
Yeah.
days. Yeah. Depends on how many people we
Yeah.
get into the classroom.
Yeah.
Oh, but we're doing it like, so I'm actually teaming up with another trainer.
Yep.
So, and she actually has a venue at her house
Yep.
at Berwick.
I'm still not even, there's so, Melbourne is like Sydney.
Yeah. So we're running it from her place. But the beautiful thing is you've got 2 of us. You've
Yeah.
got 2 trainers, and she's
And where are you staying there? You're staying in accommodation or?
I'm going to stay with her, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be staying at her house.
Yeah. I would, there'd be a lot of,
if
it's,
you end up Airbnb-ing, you can stay with us.
it's something I'd consider. So it's hypnotherapy is kind of a different thing to timeline, but similar.
Well, yes. I mean, you're bypassing the critical faculty. So, like and again, you're trusting that your unconscious mind is going to take on all the suggestions.
Yep.
So if you want to help people with smoking,
Yep.
hypnotherapy is great. But I was about to say, I had a student give up smoking through swish pattern. 50,
Okay, yes.
50 years of smoking, one process
Wow.
done in the
Maybe you
training.
need to, because I swish, I was kind of I thought it was a little bit kind of, but maybe that's something else that we could.
Yep. It's
But I will with swish get more practice with it when I do my
and
course.
and the thing is, with a swish pattern, it's easier to do face to face than online.
Maybe not us worry about that. That's something I'm paying the next thing to do to practice on that. It's more, I'm really kind of keen with the timeline therapy and you know, I mean, I do want to do all these things, but I've just got to be mindful that I've got to start somewhere.
Of course. Of course. And I mean, look, we're not just running one a year.
Yeah.
We might only come to Melbourne once, but like we're still, you wanted to come up here and do it. Like, look, just see. Like there's no pressure.
That's right. We'll just roll with it. Yeah. I don't want to get too overloaded.
No, Jen.
And I haven't committed to, the masters with, where I was before either. So I'm really, this is my main focus right now with you to really kind of have that one-on-one mentoring to help me get started. It's getting started. And then going over what I've already learned online, on that 7-day thing there, that'll also help me open up my neural pathways again and open up to remember things. And I want to in March to be able to, it's my goal to have a paying client in March.
Yeah, well, see, the other thing is too,
I did have the 31st of March in my brain.
But jumping on that call with Jim on Thursday.
Yes.
That's going to give you.
How do I do that? Is there a link or something?
Yeah, we'll send a link. We'll give you the link.
Is that on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, at 7:30. So
I wrote it on my calendar, yeah.
Okay, so what I'll need to do now is just look at, so in regard to this, do you want to get the techniques done first? Because questions are just questions.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
techniques. Yeah. So
So
today, I
let,
guess, yeah, we've let it all out. You've really got an idea of where
yeah.
I go. I want to have those techniques ready. I want to do that one of the techniques ready, the timeline therapy, so that when I've got the girl booked, Georgia booked in for another week or so, I think I'm with you again tomorrow, aren't I? Is it tomorrow? No, next Tuesday. Next at 9:30. So she's booked in for Wednesday. If I can do one session, and it's for free. So
Yeah.
I've already
Well,
done
okay,
parts.
so if you're doing timeline therapy, you would do anger and sadness
Yep.
with her. Okay.
So would I start off with her, because I don't have to worry about the first session. I've already got a bit of an idea, but would I start with her just by talking about when's the last time you felt angry? And she might say 3 weeks ago. Do I start by that?
Well, we'd have to look at like what's her problem, like, or is this,
Yeah.
or is she, or is it just practice for you? Like, is there
Right.
something that she genuinely needs help
Yes.
with? There
Yes,
is.
yes, yes. And I'm using it she's buying me a coffee. So I'm helping her and I'm getting a
Okay,
coffee. And
okay.
I'm training with her, but yeah, she's
And
taking it seriously.
so what's her surface level, like what's her surface level problem?
Um, she doesn't feel good enough. She feels like she's a very, very good beautician and she doesn't see that in herself. She doesn't see, and
Okay,
yeah,
so with her,
yeah,
what we could do is we could do like a little program for her
yeah,
where we could do all the emotions, get
yeah,
rid of all the emotions, and then we could do a few limiting beliefs.
yeah,
And that could be enough for her.
yes.
Or we could do a few limiting beliefs and parts integration.
Yeah, I've done one parts integration, but we could throw on another one at the end. I'm not charging her for it and she's enjoying it. So
Yeah. Because what I do before I go is what I do with my parts, I do the parts at the end. Because
yes,
when you do it in the training room, we do it at the very beginning before timeline. Did you do it before you learned timeline?
I think so. Yes.
Because in the training room, you're going to come in and you're going to have a heap of parts.
Yeah.
Once you do timeline and you've eliminated the emotion and you've eliminated the limiting beliefs, there may not be as many parts or there may not be any parts.
Yes. Okay. I only did parts because I knew how to do it.
How to do it, but that's fine because you
Yeah.
got a result.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So what we'll do next week is we'll drill down on timeline and we'll make timeline the focus.
Yep. So
Are you-
maybe you can do the timeline with me. So that's rather than me asking questions, then if we're doing it on me, I can even go back and have a look at it or once.
Yep, I can do it on you, and then what we'll do is we might be able to do a couple of run throughs with a script,
Yeah.
and I can just look at your tonality and just help you make sure that it flows really well.
Yeah.
Because it can be a little bit clunky.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
have you enjoyed this today, Jen?
Yeah, I have. Thank you. Yeah, I feel comfortable that even though it's a lot of questions and things like that, I'll print off what you sent to me,
Yeah.
and have a bit of a read over that.
Yep.
But I feel comfortable in having that goal of nutting down what I particularly want and how to go about that. So that gives me a bit of lessens my anxiety about, well, I don't know if it's anxiety,
And
but the fear of,
between now and then, what you could do is you could look at I was just going to say page 10, 11, 12, but yours is different.
Yep.
So look at
That's the root cause you're talking about.
eliciting the timeline. So eliciting the timeline, and I mean, I can also show you.
Oh, that's the question I was going to ask because I do like that, and that's this one. And I was going to ask you, do you do that absolutely first?
I do, yeah. Well, see, you've got it under time change techniques, but I think maybe what they've done is they've I think they've changed it up a little bit and called it
Yeah.
something different.
Elicit
So-
the timeline. Is there consequences of shifting this? Yeah.
Mm,
Rotate the
yeah.
timeline. Oh, they've got different things to rotate it. Is that the one?
Yeah,
But what
no.
they're doing is that what we do is we want to, which I did with my cousin, is
It's
to
just elicitation.
maybe elicitation of the timeline. That's what this is called underneath.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, so we've got the same picture, similar.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is,
Yes, and where your future is, I've got exactly the
I've
same.
done that before. So would I do that before, like totally this whole, could I
timeline, yes.
before timeline?
Yeah,
So that's
but I
okay.
can also next week what I'll do, you've got that, but would you like a simpler way?
Yeah. Just can you, if you email it, it's a better print, I think, rather than a photo.
Yeah.
Do that or not?
I could.
If not, just do the way you did it, because I can still print it off through my phone.
Just a question, and I'll show you. It's literally a sentence.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean,
Text it to me, so I've got it in my head.
Yeah, I'll do it with you now, just quickly. Okay, so trusting your unconscious mind. I want you to close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting your unconscious mind. If you were to think about your future in a direction away from your body in a straight line, I want you to point in the direction that your future would be in. Okay, now where is your past? Simple as that, Jen.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Can you write that down for me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Okay,
just text,
so,
just
yeah,
take a photo and text
I'll
it.
write that down when I get back. I've got to take Nicholas.
Do that. And then I can just have that, written on there.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously there's the way that I've got to teach it.
Yes.
As the teacher trainer.
Yes.
I don't always use.
Yes. I get what you, and that's what I want from you.
Yes.
Is it's they're doing all the technical
the
stuff.
only thing is I don't want to confuse you when
Yes.
you go back into the training room.
I'm aware of that, but there won't be enough time. It's not that far away for me to be totally embedded in the new.
Yeah, in another way. Yeah.
In another way. It'll be written down, ready for me, but it'll be easy for me to pick up this page because that's what they'll do. And I'm already like reading it, it's not like I'm going, oh, what's that say? I go, so if I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is, your line is not going to make a difference to me because they'll all be reading it off a script. And so will I still, So it's fine. If we were doing it for another, if I wasn't doing it for 6 months' time, I'd be totally,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is good. Oh, I'm excited.
I know. Yeah. I'm too.
So what we'll do is I will get Luke. I mean, we probably won't need this one as much, but I'll still get Luke to put this up onto YouTube, and then you'll get a link, a private link.
Yep.
And then I will just record them all, but this will be good for you to go back over anyway.
Yeah, it will.
But he won't do that till tomorrow though, because he's out.
That's okay.
All right, my love.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Carol. And I'll chat to you next Tuesday morning at 9:30.
You will. Okay. See ya.
Bye.